Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 23 of Let's Play Republic the Revolution. Welcome back to the righteous revolutionary struggle of the NPRM. We left off in a generally positive, albeit precarious situation, since we'd managed to drive out our enemies from most of northern Pugachev. However, we failed to secure complete control for ourselves. The Mafia and the Anarchists are on their knees, however, and our main rival now is the Constantino Cartel. This means, of course, first of all, that we won't be able to take as much advantage of the fact that we're representing justice, since the Constantino Cartel is the least criminal of all our opposition. But we will be nonetheless striving, doing our very best to secure our control over the area. If I remember correctly, we were also looking for a new recruit. However, I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was Karpin, since we tried recruiting him before. It might have been Gleb Ignatiev, but I decided against it for the purpose that we already have one soldier in our movement. Perhaps Guri Kramov, or, well, Guri Kramov. Unless we want Latif Ryabov, but no, he's another warehouse owner. But now, let's think about our own goals for once. We have 3 influence districts under our control out of 5 that we need. Anyhow, I'm thinking that we could boost the range of our activities through the recruitment of Mr. Ikramov. But first we'll give Boris Churniev his promotion. We'll boost his presence, his status, his control, everything except his charisma. I'm thinking that we could get him to use a new activity, the Terrorize activity. Meanwhile, we're being assaulted on all sides by the Constantino Cartel. The Anarchists are also striking, however I doubt that they'll have any chance. Now we've got to continue our activities. I think that the best course of action is to dispatch our dear friend Mr. Baturin to break down the hold of the Constantino Cartel in Laika Common. In the meantime, of course, we'll also get him to start some charity work in Viesnin town. It's becoming an expensive activity, but we need it. We're also setting up scouting in other areas, and in general we are expanding our activities across the town. I'm thinking that it would be worth organizing a meeting with Comrade Guri Ikramov, since he is a representative of the workers, and he'd give us not only a canvassing activity but also a public criticism one. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to go headhunting. We're going to get a new member of our movement, and we are going to bring him in here, bring him in to the struggle. The righteous, glorious people's struggle. We'll take him to a town cafe. Give him some decent conditions. And hopefully, he should allow us to strengthen our hold among the working class, since this would basically cover all avenues. I'm generally appealing to the revolutionaries and the intellectuals. Baturin is basically appealing to all of the faithful, while Churniev is appealing to the patriots. And now we're going to have Mr. Let me find out his name right now when we meet him up. We're going to have him appealing to the working class, turning the NPRM into an all-encompassing social and political movement. Now we're hitting him immediately with a dominant handshake, doing a Donald Trump. Now that we've asserted ourselves, hopefully we'll test his loyalty. We'll see if he's a better revolutionary, a better servant of the cause than Mr. Nazarov was. Because I've been left with a bitter taste by Comrade Nazarov and his treachery. I regret letting him into the movement, since it built up my expectations too much. He was invaluable in the beginning, but unfortunately, he did not have the resolve. I'm hoping that Mr. Let me think of this for a second. G something, so God damn it, this is where I regret having such a terrible memory. Mr. Yuri Ikramov. I hope that he's far more determined than Mr. Nazarov was. I also hope that we can conversationally overcome him with similar ease. So we'll try and triumph over him with our silver tongue. If it can win the masses, it can hopefully win one man as well. I'm wondering whether we should order some alcoholic drinks, since I'm certain that that would soften him up a bit. But before that, we're going to see if we can come out on top in this casual conversation. I'm afraid, though, since he has a good chance here, we're tied, but that might change at any time whatsoever. He seems to be using some tactics similar to mine. And I just can't permit that, I really cannot. But here we go, this is it. I think we might win this. I think we've got a chance. And we've done it! Victory secured! We've recruited Comrade Yuri Ikramov into the NPRM. Welcome aboard, comrade! The proletariat is once more represented in our leadership. Which is basically becoming the Politburo of the NPRM. Although I'd rather keep away from anything strictly political. This is a people's movement, rather than one of those self-styled political parties. Come to think of it, I don't think there are any political parties in Pugachev. We're respecting comrade, dictator, esteemed leader Harasov's ban on political parties, that's for sure. Because we've got the mafia, we've got the anarchists, who you can't really call anything else but a criminal organization. You've got the cartel, who I guess in a way are not necessarily a criminal organization, but certainly a social organization of sorts. And then we've got us, the glorious revolutionary movement, which just scored another recruit. Now let's see how we're going. We've secured Ratushinskaya fields, and we're advancing. We're marching onwards to victory. Let's see the newspapers. Okay, our press has already begun to criticize the Constantino cartel. Very good news indeed. Now we're going to send our dear new comrade Ikramov to start campaigning. Eventually we'll get him to put up some graffiti as well once we break into some working class districts. We're going to secure our hold no matter what. We're steadily advancing. Meanwhile, we'll get Mr. Baturin to kick the cartel out of the Alexandrovsk industrial estate, allowing us therefore to begin our move into Makevich Court and Pushkin Park, which will mean the successful achievement of our objective of becoming a charitable trust. And no, we won't be laundering money through this. We will be doing good for the people of Novi Strana. That much is a promise. We're continuing our proud advance. We're gradually making our dominant position even more secure. And this is exactly what I wanted. Exactly what our movement needed, to be completely honest. We need to secure our future and defeat our rivals. Otherwise, our position will be in severe jeopardy. Now let's see, where has support decayed? The Solovyev estate. Well, you know what that means. We're going to advance our movement here, we're going to advance our position. We're going to strengthen ourselves completely. We've also got to secure our hold over here. And I think I might actually hold a rally in Natanson town. We're going to go out among the working class and we are going to speak to them. We are going to let them know that the NPRM is here for them. It is here to protect their interests, to protect their future. And that no matter what the other movements may promise them, no matter what they might say, all that they have to offer is empty words. Unlike us, we are a movement of the people. A movement that shall triumph decisively, led by the people, for the people. And this is something that I am quite certain of. We've really gone for a full-on snowball effect here. And we're setting up even more activities to take over the Mir estate. And once we've basically evacuated the cartel from there, we shall do even more. But now we hold our very first rally in a working class neighborhood. We are speaking directly to the proletariat of this city. We've realized that now that we've moved on to a larger urban settlement, it is not enough to speak simply to the entire population. We need to pick apart certain groups, and that is what we're doing here. We're going for a decisive speech. We are going to appeal to their hearts, more so than to their minds. We are going to promise them the earth, and we are going to give them the earth one day. God forbid if we don't. Now we'll have to put on some more left-leaning socialist-style rhetoric to get people to stop supporting the anarchists. And it helps here that our movement isn't as ideological as the rest. We fluctuate between left and right, up, down, center, wherever we want to go, we go there. Some people call it opportunism, I call it pragmatism and realism. Now let's take the stand. Dear comrades of the working class, I come before you today for the first time, but not for the last. I address you in the name of the People's Revolution, of the movement that promises you liberation. I am your humble servant, and am ready to carry us all onwards. We must unite as one, with one undefeatable force. We must fight for our rights, fight for our future. The oppression of the Karasov regime has lasted far too long. They have deprived us of our rights. They have deprived us of our chances. And we must not allow this oppression of the body, of the soul, to continue. We must strike against the bourgeoisie, against the oligarchy that sustains Mr. Karasov, and we must strike against the criminal organizations that claim to oppose him. Only through united action shall we overcome. We must fight together. We must unite the unions. We must unite the classes. We must fight for one free Novi Strana based on liberty, equality, and the age-old democracy. Long live the victory of our revolution. Long live our unity, our strength, and our struggle. United we shall never be defeated. And so we conclude our most left-wing rally yet, and we return to the fact that Comrade Baturin has leveled up. So we'll strengthen his status and his charisma, and we'll back up his revelation. Meanwhile, I've also increased in status, which allows me to finally boost my attributes. I'm not sure which one I should use though. I'd strengthen my rally, but it would be extremely expensive from here on. So I say we'll boost the persuading action. Since we've already headhunted for our members, we've already gotten that done. We've consolidated our control over Natanson town, however over little else. Meanwhile, our position is coming under threat in the Mir district, or whatever it is, the Mir estate. We need to strike against the Constantino cartel's influence. We've secured Laika Common and Vyesnin town, and soon we've got to secure the Yelesin precinct and the Soloviev estate. Our influence points have dropped to an unfortunate low, so we'll have to wait to restock on our points. We've made a great effort this day, and I'm very proud of it. And we need to continue making similarly great, similarly titanic efforts in the name of our glorious people's national and social revolution. We must assert ourselves without any reluctance. We must strike against all of our foes. Meanwhile, we really should try to reach Mandelstam Park, since otherwise the anarchists will gain a stronghold. Now, the new statistics and rankings are in. We're lagging behind the Constantino cartel, but only by 30 points. We've left the Red Mafia and the organized anarchists in the dust. Our resolve remains high, and we have the highest share of town under our control. The people are behind us. All we're missing is higher support. Now we're going to take down some anarchist graffiti here. We're going to put up something that appeals to the working class. My question is exactly where this is taking place, however. In a working class neighborhood. So we'll appeal to the Proletarian revolution. To the rising up in the name of equality and workplace control. I'm honestly giving into far too much communism right here, to be honest. Although I guess that I might as well. Meanwhile, our points are back in. This allows us to continue our work in the name of justice and in the name of righteousness. We're going to organize some more charity work, and above all, we are going to have the balls to go and organize a campaign to take control of Pugachev Central. We're going to launch our poster campaigns and strike at our enemies. We're going to publicly criticize our enemies, and thus we are going to strike them down. We're going to make a move on the Alexandrovsk industrial estate soon enough. And also on the Mir estate. Perhaps we could go for Buran Gardens, but I don't see the need. Potemkin Plaza could, however, be a good target. Since we unfortunately cannot reach Pugachev Fields. However, we've made the breakthrough into Mandelstam Park, which means that we can continue with our movement over there. We're going to move our activities over there, and we are going to achieve great things. Great things indeed. Our goal is getting ever closer to us. This much is more than obvious. And our revolution is growing stronger with every passing day. We've effectively shattered the cartel in Pugachev town center. By gaining control of City Hall, we now have even more bonuses to our actions. We're advancing even faster, we have even greater momentum. And now all we have to do is take advantage of this opening to launch our activities into the Alexandrovsk Industrial Park. To break our enemies down the only way we know how. We're going to expand our operations everywhere. This is a multilateral campaign in our constant march forwards towards the great and glorious triumph of the people's will. Nothing can truly stop us. Perhaps we could go out and recruit some more people, such as Felix Lavanov, although he seems to be a very, how can I say it, shady individual, since he's willing to hire prostitutes and give bribes to defend his patrons. I'd rather stay away from him. So we're going to continue with our activities. We're going to continue to strike on all fronts. North, south, east, and west. And that's what we're going to successfully do in the very next episode of Let's Play Republic the Revolution. Until then, I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that if you did enjoy the episode, that you'll leave a like and a comment and to subscribe to my channel if you don't want Comrade Ikramov or Chernyaev showing up at your door to break your kneecaps. Anyways, I've been the Nerd Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for today.